Blog Talk Radio.
Let me tell you how we do it. There ain't nothing to it. We're gonna get right to it. You ready? You ready? This is the ProMMANow.com radio network.
Episode 182 tonight. Got things lined up for you. Emily Barty will kick things off as she is in fight camp. She's also enjoying her summer break from school. All that jazz. Josh Clark from The Ultimate Fighter, Season 19 will join us. Kentucky's hillbilly heartthrob. Fresh off the show, looking for work. We're going to talk to him, see what's going on. Jose Figueroa headlines Gladiators of the Cage this Saturday night in north of Plainfield, Ohio. Juan and I will be there, so we're going to talk to him. Bubba McDaniel returns to Indiana. He'll be fighting in Indianapolis in just a couple weeks. We're going to talk to him about his journeys and his return to the Hoosier State. We're going to do all that and a little bit more tonight on Bluegrass MMA Live.
Now tuned into the motherfucking greatest.
Fighters first, fans always. The Ohio Valley's #1 source for MMA. Broadcasting on the ProMMANow.com radio network. Brought to you by Bangtown Fightwear. This is Bluegrass MMA Live. And now, here are your hosts, Juan Valley and Gary Thomas.
You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with us. We love you for that. This is Bluegrass MMA Live on this Tuesday night, July the 15th, smack dab in the middle of your month. As always, tonight we're sponsored by Bangtown Fightwear. Make sure you go check them out at bangtownfightwear.com. You can follow them on Twitter at BangtownBT. We're also brought to you in part by Audible.com. Audible is a leading provider of spoken audio entertainment and information. That's right. Listen to audiobooks whenever, wherever you want. Get a free book when you sign up for a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/ProMMA now. And with that, we're off and running. Juan Valley, what's cracking?
Oh, you know, just another day in paradise.
Here's the thing. I'm showing that you're muted, but you're still talking. What's up with that?
It's because I'm above all, and therefore, that is odd that I'm still talking, to be honest with you. Is that a sign that Blog Talk is going to screw us over tonight? I
don't know.
Not.
I mean, it was echoing real bad. Now you're clear as crystal. We'll just leave it like it is. Maybe the people out there can't hear you. I don't know.
Wouldn't that be something? They're thinking, man, you're talking to yourself.
Man, he's talking to himself. Ask Aaron if he can hear you. Aaron, can you hear Juan?
Well, I just unmuted myself now, so
he says we can, unfortunately. So,
Aaron loves me.
Juan and I, this Saturday night, get to take a road trip. Juan's got to drive. Hey. Anytime Juan comes here and we go somewhere, I'll drive. Anytime I go to Juan, he has to drive. This will be the biggest trip we've made together, and it's an overnight trip. So many activities. We're going to Cleveland, bitches.
We have so much room for activities. All right, hey, real
not
quick.
in your
car. You're a betting man. We're going to the Hard Rock Casino in Cleveland, Ohio.
That's right.
Gladiators of the Cage. I am willing to bet. Now, I'm not a betting man.
No, you're not.
But we are still 3 days out from this Saturday night. I'm willing to bet you bail on me before then. Are you willing to take that bet?
If I hadn't already booked the room, yes, I would have done that. I probably would have said "fuck you" and not win. But I've already booked the room, and I got a cheaper rate if I paid for it up front. You know, like
right.
And it's, there's a huge, not a huge, like a $29 cancellation fee. So we're staying at the Hilton Place in Streetsboro.
Right.
I don't know. I assume that's close. It's a partner with the casino, so.
Is that better than the Knights Inn?
Yeah. It's not as good as the Millennium Maxwell, but it's better than the Knights Inn.
Man, I will never forget the Millennium. First time I ever met Jack in person. Dude was eating like the biggest steak at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon I've ever seen in my life. It was
Room service
unbelievable.
steak. So you know that some bitch was about $50.
You're right.
So, yeah.
But I'm excited, man. A 4-hour road trip.
I've got permission to do a small bit of gambling. For those of you who don't know, before the MMA craze took hold of one Gary Thomas, I used to be a gambler. I would play poker, and I like to go to the casino and roll dice. And I gave up those sinful ways to go watch sweaty men wrestle in their underwear.
So the truth is coming out. We got it. Hey, you're apparently never as good as Adam Nash because he's a semi-pro poker player now. You set your game up a little. Maybe take some lessons.
I could probably, I'll be honest, people that play cards, like Texas Hold'em and Omaha stuff, they hate playing with me because I'm such a gambler. I'll bet on anything. And then, so like they're playing a really good hand, and they think they're going to win, and then I draw some amazing card at the end and just totally obliterate them. When they did everything perfect and I did everything wrong, it tends to make a poker player very irate.
Yes, it does.
But unfortunately, or if like you're the end man on the blackjack table and you keep taking cards that would make the dealer bust.
Oh man, and I hate that because I like going to the church festivals up here in our area. I like going up there to gamble and blackjack. But I mean, I get pissed at that. Dude, I don't know maybe it's just a Cincinnati thing. I'm not sure, but we have like a festival every single weekend. And they all have gambling. It kind of blows my mind, like, why the church gambles.
Like charity rules, like if you're playing blackjack and you push, they get the money?
Some play like that, some don't. Then if you can get your dealer a little bit, on the tipsy side, all kinds of rules are getting broken. Yeah. If
you can get Preacher Man a couple drinks in him, that's how we're over.
You'll be good. She stood us up.
Oh,
she's
no.
Like, she's like, screw you guys. My show's better.
She said, I'll call you when you tell me to. And I was like, that was 5 minutes ago. Sorry.
Slacker, man.
Sorry, Emily. Well, I mean, we got a little bit
You're
of time.
You're keeping our great guest waiting.
Our first and second guest. So, we're Kentucky heavy on the front end. Would you like to greet Miss Barty before we bring her on?
Never. She will have to suffer.
Sometimes I don't know about him. Like, of all the people I could have partnered with, how did I find this Honduran, free-spirited tech guru? I don't know. Remember, if you are looking to get healthy, I'm trying to be a little healthier. We all should try to be a little bit healthier. I'm not trying to force some fanatical diet or miracle drug on you, but Onnit.com is a site where you can get the best in like human optimization, as they call it. So what they've got is stuff that's good for you, tested, proven. They just did a study came out on Alpha Brain. They've got Strong Bone. They've got stuff for just about everything. Your immune system. They got testosterone boosters. They've got these like omega-3, like for those that take supplements and know what it is. A lot of people take like fish oil capsules. So you take fish oil capsules to get your good fatty acids and then your omega-3s in. Well, they've got these, the same thing as the fish oil caps, but they're in gummy bears, and they taste like gummy bears. For you protein drink fans, I've tried a lot. I'm not if I'm anything, I'm a Muscle Milk at the gas station kind of I don't make my own by any means, but Hemp Force Protein is the best tasting protein drink I've ever had. They've got acai vanilla, but the chocolate is the bomb. Not only do they have all this stuff that's good for your body, they got stuff to make your body stronger. They've got the kettlebells. They've got like the 8 kettlebells. They've got the zombie bells. They've got the steel maces. So much good stuff. Mike Dolce's on there. It's really like if you're looking to get healthy, these are some of the things that you need for your body. So, and it's kind of expensive, but since we love you, each and every one of you that listen, enter promo code BluegrassMMA, save 10% off any and all supplements. It won't save you any money on a BlendTech blender that's like $500, but my birthday's coming up in October, so you have plenty of time to save up for that. That's Onnit.com, ONNIT. And with that, we are graced with like this phenomenal student, this mixed martial artist, and she hosts her own show on this very network on Monday night with Miss Gina Begley. She got a fight coming up. Maybe if we can find her an opponent. I think Juan may have to cut a little weight and take on this person, Miss Emily Barty. What's going on, girl?
Hey, nothing much. It's been a good day, and I'm ready for a good interview.
Do you I know you put so much into your school, in your studies, and striving for that perfection. Like, do you just kind of go wild during the summer without that? I know you work too, but do you kind of get that freedom feel? Like when we were kids and it was summer break and you really had no obligations. Can you do that at your age, at the ripe old age of 21?
Of course. Like, the beginning of the summer, it was awesome. So I didn't start working until June. So I had a good, 3 weeks in May, and it was amazing. I, slept in until, 10 or noon. I got to eat what I wanted. I got to go out. I couldn't go out too much because I was in a fight camp for June, which didn't happen. But it was fun. It's good being, 21 years young and being able to have some freedom and fun.
Having that healthy metabolism. Let's be honest, on those off days, when it was just Emily time, how many cupcakes would you have a day?
Not too many. Every now and then I'd have one, but the problem is, all of the cupcake places in Richmond have closed. There used to be 2 really, really good cupcake places, and they're just gone. So if I want one, I've got to go all the way up to Lexington. So it's kind of like a moderator on my cupcake addiction.
Now, we may differ on this, but I'm not a fan of the Gigi's cupcakes. I like the cake more than the icing. I don't like the cupcakes that are 5 foot tall and it's all icing. Is the icing the best part for you, or is it the cake?
It depends on what it is. I think the only part where I like the icing better is their coconut cream pie. Because they've got a coconut cream pie cupcake, and then they've got a creme brulee cupcake. And those are the only 2 that I like the icing better than the cake out of every single cupcake that they have.
Is this torturous? Because you're in fight camp right now. Can you work maybe a cupcake a week into your diet, or how does that work for you?
I might be slobbering or salivating right now thinking about cupcakes, but it works. If I'm about between a month, I'd say a month and a half, and about 4 weeks out, I might work a cupcake into my cheat meal, but those cupcakes are a lot. So it's pure sugar. So I'm always leery of it because when I cut weight, the less water I have to cut in the sauna, the better I feel. So I try to get my weight down as low as I can without having to go into the sauna, and cupcakes kind of hamper that ability.
Let's rewind to last year. You go to the Thai boxing tournament. You make your, your full contact combat sports debut. Is that right? That was your first bout, I guess. I know you've been in martial arts, but was this the first time that it was, fisticuffs were going to be thrown?
Yeah, it was, and it was pretty fun. Like, I'd done grappling tournaments before that, and I'd done point sparring and karate. But like in karate, you don't get hit that hard. You can't hit below the belt. You can't hit the face. So it was the first kind of, full contact. All right, this person is trying to, kill me within the limits of the rules event, and it was fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It kind of, made everything that I was doing in the gym set in place, and it kind of showed my family too, hey, I'm serious about this, and they kind of started to respect it a little more.
So, like, because I love all you guys, I bought the pay-per-view, and it looked like, I'm used to watching MMA, and we see how it is. This looked like it was herding cats in and out of rings all day long, like 4 different rings, so many people coming in and out. And I remember I got to talk to your mom in the chat room there, and you made your debut, and you won. I see the picture all the time, the big smile on your face. What was that sense of accomplishment for you?
It was kind of, I mean, the only way to say it is that it was fun, it was good, it was amazing, it felt good. Like I knew that I had beat her, and it was so happy, because when I did point sparring and karate in the 6 years that I did it, tournament-wise, I think I only won 1 or 2 point matches, and that was it. So, like, when you think about stand-up, I had never really won. I'd never had that feeling of accomplishment. And then, you're in a fight week, you're dieting, your weight cut goes well, you do really, really well in the sauna, and everything just kind of works and flows together, and then it all clicks. And when I won that first fight, it was amazing. I was on cloud 9.
I think fast forward a little bit, you're getting ready to prepare for your MMA debut, and we were in Somerset, and you were ready to. Your opponent had dropped out, which seems to be par for the course so far in your young career. But like, you were ready to drive to Florence like that day if they could find an opponent for you. I know we were in Somerset at a Hard Rock event. Turf Wars was having an event. If they could have found you an opponent, you would have went up there. Like you acted like it, like you still had a fight. You didn't, fight camp was fight camp. You rode it out to the very end, like a champ.
I did. I even did the weight cut in the sauna. That morning, I made it down to, like, I had literally, this is how it has to work, but I had literally just made it to 145 that morning. I had 1 class on campus, and then after that it was going to be, waiting to hear, okay, do I have a fight? Because the Hard Rock card, my opponent had dropped out, but there was a fight in Northern Kentucky at the same weight, or in the same weight class. And I was waiting, and I get out of the sauna, and I check my phone after I've weighed in at 145, and she's like, well, it moved up to 155, and on top of that, both of the opponents came through, so it was kind of a little crushing, but at the same time, like, I had a really good fight camp, my weight cut went well again, and, everything was kind of sliding into place. The only thing that was missing was the actual fight.
But how valuable was just that experience, knowing that even though you didn't get a fight, that you could cut the weight, complete a fight camp injury-free, and kind of get that experience under your belt moving forward?
Oh, I felt amazing, because one of the first things that, they tell you in the gym when you go into a fight camp is, all right, your training is about to go through the roof. It's going to be harder. It's going to be more intense. You're going to be training more. Like, it's not just you're training for fun. It's not just you're training to learn these techniques. It's you're training to save your face and to save your ass when you get in that ring, because that other person is going to be trying to demolish you. And it was really good, I guess, for your level of confidence, knowing, hey, I just made it through what was then, the toughest fight camp of my life. For 8 weeks, I trained my rear end off. I dieted. I did well. And something that I always think about, I managed to stay on top of my classes in addition to that, like my college classes. So it was a good confidence booster. It kind of set it in stone, like, hey, I might have doubted myself, but I can do this, and there's no reason for me to look back.
You multitasking fool. I'm telling you. So let's go to February. you make your debut, and we've talked about your camp and the weight cut and all this time, and then you win in under 2 minutes.
Mhm.
Now, I'm sure the thrill of victory is exhilarating, but all that, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, whatever, I mean, even going back to like November when you had that fight camp, all that, and then is there any bit of a letdown knowing it didn't go any longer than that? Like all that work for 2 minutes worth of time?
Not really. Like I wanted to get a finish, and that's exactly what I did. I think I was a little surprised that it didn't go longer, but at the same time, I was hitting solid. I had, her nose rushing blood within that first, I think, minute, and I kept on going, because one of the things that I have to work on a lot is with my aggression. I'm not very aggressive. Even in grappling, I kind of wait to see what the other person does, and then I'll make my move. I'll try and counter it. I'll try and flip it. And it was kind of like, wow, like there was that shock factor of, I just won. I didn't think I would win that soon. But it was nice. It was good. It was relieving, too, because, I looked out in the crowd and I saw all of my family and all of my friends. I had family drive from 4 hours away. And I kind of told them, like, I'm sorry it didn't last that long. And they're like, Emily, what are you talking about? Like, you did awesome. You did better than we thought you would do. I was like, oh, thanks, Tim. Like, you guys are awesome.
Oh, and now you're right back in the mix, although you don't have an opponent.
Mhm.
We still got a little bit of time. August 2nd, Trotter Legacy, right there in Richmond, where you go to school, where you live, where you train. How important would it be for you to get a fight there locally? I mean, even though you only had one fight, but you've got Adam, you've got your teammates on the card, then you've got the kind of the community that you're a part of that can come out and see you. Like if it was me, I feel like it would be a big deal. Would that be a big deal for you at this point?
Yeah, of course. Like anywhere you go in town, all of the stores, all of the gyms in the area, everywhere has the flyers up for the fight, and you kind of walk in and you're like, you know what, that's going down here, and I'm fighting on that card. Like, it kind of makes you feel like a little bitty celebrity in town. But it's cool, and not only that, but also, more people that I know can come to it. When I fight out in Louisville or Somerset, a lot of my friends, they can't make it. A lot of my family, that's, a far drive for them. But when it's here in Richmond, we've got all of our familiar places around here. We don't have an hour-and-a-half drive to and from weigh-ins, to and from the fight. It's nice. It's kind of comforting.
So you talk about being a celebrity. Now, over a year now, actually a year and a half, you and your teammate, your pal, Gina Begley, you've been doing pro WMMA now on the regular each and every week, and whether you realize it or not, both of you guys are kind of a fixture in the women's mixed martial arts community. I mean, you guys have talked to everybody from, top UFC contenders all the way down to somebody making their professional debut in Canada or, out west. It's crazy, the kind of the variety and the dynamics that you've had there. How has that been for you? Because, you're young, and it seems like all this is happening. You're juggling school, you're juggling training and all this, but you guys have consistently put out a great product for so long. Did you expect it to be how it is now?
I didn't. I knew it was something, the show Pro WMMA Now was something that would continue going, but I remember back in the very first episodes where we would be, kind of panicking if we had even two guests. And if we went over an hour and a half, it would be like, oh, my gosh, we're talking for so long. And now the shows will go 2 hours, 2.5 hours, sometimes up to 3. We've got 4 guests at times. We've got people calling in on top of that. It's kind of developed and blossomed into something that's awesome and it's great. And it also, it gives you connections. Like, when we go fight, some of the people will come up and say, oh, I listened to your radio show. You're really good. You and Gina do awesome. Cool, because we're repping what we love. We're training in what we love. We're kind of spreading that word and getting people into and interested in what we train in and what we do every day. It's fun. It's kind of fulfilling to feel like you're making, a little bit of an impact, and you're helping spread that knowledge and, get some spotlight for everyone around you.
What amazes me is, like, you two are so prepared. I feel like I just imagine how good I could be if I prepared as much as Gina and Emily did. That's what gets me. You guys always know what you're talking about. I don't even know what the next question I'm going to ask you is going to be.
A lot of that's Gina. Gina does amazing on that show. Like, she even writes out the questions that she's going to do. Like, I know whenever I'm getting ready for the show, I'll write, like, their name, where they're from, their weight, their height. For some reason, I put their age, too. But, like, I prepare, and I know, but she's over the top of that, and, too, like, she has all of the background knowledge. Like, I can talk to you about a fighter, but when it comes to pulling, names kind of out of the air and remembering fights from here and there, I'm scatterbrained. I'd have to have a book full of notes to remember that and be concrete sure. And Gina's got that knack for remembering everything, and she's really disciplined in it.
It's just, I don't know. I try to listen to you guys every week, and it's crazy. I want you to be honest here. I feel like Gina maybe corrupts you a little bit. Like, she tries to, I'm not going to say she's a bad influence, but she's definitely a different kind of influence on you. I hear you cuss now. I'm kind of shocked at that. I feel like you're growing up right in front of us.
Yep, I'm 21 and I'm finally growing up. She doesn't corrupt me, but I kind of, become looser and not as, uptight or proper. Like, I'm not always like, oh, I can't say that anymore. Now it's like, you know what? She's being this, she's being that. So I'm getting better. I'm getting more loose and kind of comfortable, and Gina's helping with that.
It's this show. It's opposite. Juan tries to censor me, and I really don't like that. I don't appreciate him trying to change me. It's true.
But what if it's for the better?
I'm resistant to change, Emily Barty. I'm resistant. I'm still using Windows XP.
What are you going to do when Charlie grows up? There's going to be a lot of change.
Listen, I'm scared. I'm scared for her. I'm scared for me and my wife. I don't know. I'll probably send her to live with you.
Ooh, that'll be fun. Gina and I can both corrupt her. And then we'll send her right on back.
Yeah. I might scratch that idea. So, I kind of glossed over the beginning, but, like, you're a really good student. You have a strong motivation for your academics. I see you talking about your papers, and, I know that that means a lot to you. How much longer before you graduate, and how much MMA do you see post-graduation?
I want to do MMA, and I want to train for as long as I can. Like, this is something that I want to make a life change. It's something that I enjoy doing. It's not something that I see stopping if I move away from Richmond. And, like, as far as the school goes, I know I've got a year and a half for sure left of my undergrad, probably 2 years. I might try and stretch it out. And then I plan on going straight into grad school. Now, where I go for grad school, I'm not sure, because I kind of want to move out west. But, again, I don't know. That's something that I've got to look at. I've got to look at all the grad schools in the area. And it's just not only that, but also, like, training and school kind of go together for me. When I started karate, I was in school, and it kind of kept me disciplined. And, I had to set goals. I had to budget my time. And it's the same thing, now with college and classes. In fact, one of the things in the beginning of the summer that drove me insane is that I didn't have classes and homework to kind of, make me budget my time with training. So I would sleep until I had to train. I'd train, I'd get back, and I'd sleep until I had to train again. So it's something that they go together in my life, and it's something that I want to keep that way. So I always want to train, and I'm probably going to be a lifetime student.
Sleep, train, eat, sleep, repeat. It's the life right there. I'm jealous. Because, there's a job opening, and I know what you're studying is kind of similar to what I do, Like, just quit school and take a job right now. We can work together, train, live right there in Richmond. Just jump into the real world. Mortgage, marriage, the whole thing.
Whoa. I like my apartment. There's no mortgage. And apparently I scared Buzz away, so there probably won't be a marriage for a while either.
I think, I don't know what it is. Like, you're very soft-spoken, you're very funny, and I don't think guys know how to approach you. I don't think, like, spitting that swag game, you know, those cheesy pickup lines, I think they know that won't work on Emily Barty. She's too smart for that.
That, and I'll just laugh, and then I won't be able to stop laughing.
They gotta come correct when they step to Emily Barty.
Of course.
With, I guess, 2 weeks away. By the way, the night of your fight will actually be the night or the day of my wedding anniversary. I'm so excited to take my wife out to Richmond to the fights. I mean, I just think that's the sweetest thing ever. Do you agree? Like, can I get away with this?
Yeah, of course. You said then your wife gets to see all of us, and it will be fun. It will be awesome.
And then the after party at the pizza place. I was trying to get Gina to rename that event Gary and Abby's anniversary party. Like, I think I was going to try to explain to my wife that it was like a surprise anniversary party. I don't think it's going to work.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that might. You can buy her beers. That's very romantic.
It is. Just get her good and drunk, just like our wedding night. Just get her good and hammered. I like your style.
Oh, boy.
Fight or no fight, do you continue camp like you've done before? I mean, right up to the last minute?
I will continue until I have to do my water loading. So that Saturday before is kind of the cutoff, because that's when, I think that Sunday is when we'll start taking in the water, and we'll start, loading ourselves, cutting out what we eat, stuff like that. So they've got until then, because, I know 145 is a weight that I can make. One of the fights when I was trying to fight on June 14th and it didn't go through, that fight, the first opponent, it was going to be at 140. So even if she would have dropped out, or when she did drop out, the fight weight went up to 145, but I might have tried to cut down just to make sure that I can make 140, so I know I can fight that in the future. But with how this fight would be at 145, I'm not going to do that cut because I know I can make it easy. So then it'll just be back to training every day and doing what I like.
Just a week out, though, I would be so pissed. Like, I really don't, I can't comprehend. I don't have the patience that you have, and that so many mixed martial artists have. I would be so frustrated and mad, especially all that time and everything. It's like, let's be honest. You talk about your diet. That's not cheap. You can eat. Mm-hmm. You can eat McDonald's and stuff all day on the cheap. You can't eat healthy on the cheap.
No. No, but I think part of the reason that, when you have fights fall through, fight after fight after fight, like if this fight doesn't go through, it'll be the third fight camp overall that I haven't had a fight, and it'll be the second one back-to-back that I haven't had a fight. But part of why, people keep on training is that they train to train. And because they train so much, they feel comfortable to fight. Like, I'll train all the time. Because I train as much as I do and I enjoy it, I don't mind fighting. It's not like I'm going out of my way. It's something that I enjoy doing. So that's one of the things that I think kind of keeps people going and keeps fighters going when fights fall through time after time again.
I never thought of it like that. That's a really good point. I would still be impatient. I'd still rip somebody's face off.
Oh, I'm ready for a cupcake. That's my impatientness.
So we're always trying to expand our content here on Bluegrass MMA Live and on the ProMMANow.com radio network. Let me throw this idea out here, Emily. You're single, right?
Yes.
I ain't trying to put your business out there, but very lovely young lady. Listen, guys, she got everything going for her. How about one week we do. You remember the dating game, where like you have you could be the date, and then you'd have these. We don't really have like a studio where we could hide people. We have 3 callers. You couldn't see what they look like, and then all of a sudden, we'll release a photo of your man. It would. I'll just be honest. It would probably be Juan Valley, but I think it's gonna be fun.
Oh dear, you've been talking to Gina, haven't you? I think on last week's show for Pro WMMA Now, we were gonna do like a bachelorette thing, and I was gonna be the Pro WMMA Now bachelorette. Oh, this is funny.
I'm looking for a commitment.
Oh, you want me to say yes or no? Oh, dear.
You know what a commitment is. Listen, the only thing I'm worried about is you getting catfished.
Catfish, I'll break your nose.
You get catfished and it would still probably end up being Juan Valley. So I don't know really how all that works out, but just I don't want an answer now. You think about it. I'm just saying it'd be good for ratings.
All right, yeah, we'll think about it and we'll let you know.
I'm not trying to exploit your relationship status. I'm just saying it would be fun. If I was single, I would do it. I would, I don't think the phone lines would hold as many callers would be calling in for me, but that's just a problem when you're Gary Thomas.
Oh.
Emily Barty, you're awesome. I feel like it's overdue. We talk all the time, and I listen to your show, and like you've had fights and training camps. You never came on this show. I feel like maybe you snubbed me, or maybe I've just not asked you.
Or yep.
I'm gonna go with you snubbed me, but
oh,
now
thanks.
You've been in the hot seat.
Go ahead and call on.
Yeah, well, I didn't see that. I was looking at the switchboard, and I went back to Facebook, and I saw that. I was like, man, it's almost 10 after, and Emily hasn't called yet. But this has been super fun. We'll have to do it again. Keep the dating game in the back of your mind. We'll revisit it. We'll come up with some rules. I'm telling you. We'll sell some Audible services. Be great. I'm telling you, this is an instant. We're going to put the MMA hour out of business with this show. You might have to do it like, be a repeat guest. Maybe we'll do one with Juan. It'd be awesome. He can be the date. But enough with the silliness. 2 weeks, Richmond at the Armory, Trotter Legacy. Maybe, maybe not. We will get to see Emily Barty. I'm hoping for the yes. Oh, Emily, my daughter just brought me a piece of cake. I'm going to take a picture and send it to you.
I'll take a picture of my green smoothie and send it to you. They're completely easy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can't I can't eat spinach and pretend it's French fries. Some people can. I can't do that.
I've got to inhale it. I've got to eat it so fast I don't know what I'm eating.
But the fight goes down August the 2nd, the most wonderful day on the calendar. Emily Barty versus, to be announced at this moment. Stay close to BluegrassMMA.com. If that changes, we will update you. But like we always do about this time, here's your chance to give me shout-outs, thank yous, announce your social networks, your phone number for all the single guys out there. Just saying.
All righty. Well, first of all, thank you to you guys for having me on the show, finally. And then, thank you to, of course, just we'll always blame Juan. I can't talk. Thank you to all of my teammates that have helped me out through this fight camp and the last fight camp. And thank you to my coach, Scott Elliott, Gina Begley, Adam Fritz, Brandon Campbell, Dustin Short, everyone in the gym. Thank you to my family who kind of understand what I'm going through when I show up. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I've got to eat this little container of spinach. Thank you to everyone who supports Pro WMMA now as well. You guys are a lot of inspiration for, keeping me on training like how I do. Thank you to Rich City CrossFit and AFS Academy, and just kind of thank you to everyone. It's been awesome. I love it. And then on Twitter, it's at eBartee, CARTEE, and on Facebook, it's Emily Barty.
I'm being told you have a Snapchat, too. Is that something we put out publicly?
We can,
For
because I've got to add people if they request. Snapchat is it's RT Climber, and Climber is like a rock climber. So BARTEECLIMBER.
Was that inspired by you being a climber?
Yep. Freshman year, I started rock climbing, and I loved it. But our very first rock climbing meeting, I fell off the wall, and no one was spotting me, so I sprained my ankle. And then I sprained it 4 times in a 3-week period, like consecutively. So that kind of ended rock climbing for a while. And now I've been so busy training in classes that I haven't gotten back into it.
Do you do those mountain climbers, like when you're exercising? I've been forced to do those.
But
I feel like that might be close to rock climbing, as close as I'll ever get. I'm not much of an outdoors person. And Charlie laughed at me. Well, Emily, thank you so much for taking the time out. I hope you find an opponent. If not, I will still see you on August 2nd, and maybe I'll bring you a cupcake.
All right, sounds like a plan. Thank you, Gary.
Charlie says she'll make you one.
There we go. It's going to be a good night.
All right, well, enjoy your night. Take care, and we'll see you soon.
Will do. Thank you. Bye.
Miss Emily Bartee. Juan, what do you think about my dating game idea?
Hold on. I'm in the middle of sending Emily a Snapchat real quick. And it is sent. Boom. I'm on the Snapchat game, hitting her up, spitting that cheeky swag game as you said it. I laughed. I chuckled inside pretty good on that one.
Why'd you laugh?
Because who says cheeky swag game?
I don't think I said cheeky.
That's what I heard, and that's why I tweeted, so therefore it's official. So it's out
okay.
there in Twitterverse. So, I want you to enlighten me on this.
Oh, you didn't hear?
No, I was going in and out.
Okay, so this is my idea. Partially inspired by Gina Begley.
Oh, Lord. This will be good.
We're always looking for content here on the network and on our website. We do a dating game where Emily is the prize. And then we have our callers call in, and then she picks one, and then they go out on a date.
Okay, we can't even give away a free T-shirt. What makes you think anybody's going to sign up to date anybody?
We're talking about the beautiful, young, vivacious Emily Bartee.
And I understand that. But even the easy, we can't give away tickets. It's hard. People are lazy.
I'll be honest. Since you didn't hear it, I told her that it would probably be you that won.
You best believe it. And it's going to be. But see, here's the fine print. She has to take me out on a date. Pay for it. Pick me up. Wine me, dine me, open the door. I'm high maintenance.
You would do that. You would do that to a young lady.
You're telling me you wouldn't? I got that cheeky swag game, yo.
Gee, I swear I don't think. I'll have to go back and listen when it's over, but I don't think I
swear
said
you said it.
All right. Our next guest here in just a couple seconds. Like I feel we've got Jessamine Duke who fights tomorrow night. We've had Junie Browning. I'll probably just say that once. Taz Ferguson, all have made their way through the Ultimate Fighter ranks. And that's awesome. This last season, we got to see Josh Clark on the Ultimate Fighter. Won his fight to get in the house. Didn't go so well once he got there. But he didn't get a shot afterwards. I think, let me ask you this. I feel like it's hard. Like that, it'll be harder for him now than it ever was to get a fight. Now that he's, Ultimate Fighter, veteran, I think people, either you get really hard fights or nobody wants to fight you.
See, I think it's opposite. I think you're going to get more fights. You're going to look at some of these guys who are up and coming, who want to make a name for themselves. So they're going to go after these guys who can say I beat a tough veteran, blah, blah, blah. I beat somebody in the UFC, blah, blah, blah. So they should get easier fights, in my opinion.
I don't know. Like, I think, if, like, I'm a contender, maybe I take that fight, or maybe I take an easier fight to pad my record, because we know that's rampant.
Yes, unfortunately we do.
In the environment right now. I don't know.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Before we get we can talk about it afterwards, after our next guest. Yeah.
We'll wax philosophical on MMA matchmaking and such, but Josh Clark is going to join us here in just a second. Let me take the time now to tell you about Audible.com. I mentioned it earlier. Bluegrass MMA Live is happy to be sponsored by Audible.com, the leading provider of spoken digital audio entertainment. Like, I feel like we're on that cusp. Joe Rogan's got Audible, and on it, we've got Audible and on it. So we're like cousins. But Audible has over 150,000 titles to choose from, and you can listen to them on anything. Whatever you're listening to me talk on right now, you can listen to Audible.com. If you sign up at audibletrial.com/pro MMA now, you get one free audio book and 1 month of trial service. I recommend The War of Art. That's something that also Joe Rogan talks about, but it's a book if you're looking for motivation, if you're looking for something like to look inside yourself for whatever you want to be. If you want to be a stand-up comic, if you want to be a podcast host, if you want to be a fighter, it kind of pertains to all that. audibletrial.com/pro MMA now. Support Bluegrass MMA. We'll make a few bucks. You'll save a few bucks. It's all good in the Audible.com hood. Now, our next guest, I got to see him fight several times here in Kentucky. Saw him fight for XFC. Of course, we just saw him on The Ultimate Fighter. He's with us now, Mr. Josh Clark. Josh, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you?
Man, I appreciate it. So you're in Vegas now, right?
Yes, sir.
I want to tell you a story. Yeah. Everybody's got a story about somebody, right?
Exactly. Yep, let's hear it.
I'm at a Christmas party, and this guy says, "You're into MMA, right?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You know Josh Clark?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I work with him." He said, "He just went missing for like months, and then he shows back up."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, he's doing the reality show." He's like, "Yeah." And he wouldn't tell me who won at all. I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I was going to bet on everybody, and Josh wouldn't tell me anything." And then he just leaves. I was like, "Stevie? Josh ain't going to tell you nothing. You know Stevie?" I don't even know what Stevie's last name is.
Man, I remember a guy asking me that question so he could go out and bet on people. Man, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure their last name, but I obviously know them.
Yeah, Stevie was like, "Yeah, Josh would tell me nothing." I was like, "All right then." But the show's wrapped. You've been out there training hard. I saw. How hard was it for you to cut down to 185? You look good. You didn't look like you were about to die, so it's possible, right?
No,
it's good.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I think it'll be even easier. The next time. I think the more you do a cut like that, the easier it gets. My mom was in the weekend, but she actually flew out Saturday, and I started my cut Sunday. And so Friday night, we went to a pizza place, and I probably had, I don't know how many slices of pizza, and normally I wouldn't do that. So I think, that might have had a little effect on my weight cut. So it made it a little bit harder for me. But, yeah, I definitely think it's going to be an easy cut for me. I'm walking around 208, 210, and that's what I always used to walk around to. And then I would get down to about 200 and make my cut from there. So I feel pretty comfortable about it, and that's it's going to be. I think it'll be easy.
Would you want to take your next fight at 185?
Yeah, that's what I am going to do. I'm taking my next fight at 85. So
we were just discussing this, and now that you've had some time, do you feel that it will be harder to get fights? First of all, I know it was hard for you to get fights anyway, especially around here because you're that damn good. but now you're an Ultimate Fighter veteran, and I've seen guys that went through that. Guys like Luke Zachrich, who after 6 years finally got back into the UFC, and others like him that couldn't buy a fight. Nobody would want to fight him.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think I'm going to really have a trouble. I didn't really perform to my level on the show, and I think people's going to underestimate me, and they're going to be willing to take that chance to beat a guy who's on Tough 19 and to try to get their name out there. So, getting the right fights is for the first fights, I think from a business standpoint is very important to me because it's my first fight at 85 in like almost 3 years. And, I've had an 8-month layoff, so, I just want to make sure that it's the right opponent for me. But I'm willing to fight whoever just because, back in the day, it was hard for me to get fights, but I'd also turn down fights because I didn't feel like I was getting the proper training to fight the guys they wanted me to fight. I was trying to be smart with my career. But now that I'm out here and I feel like I'm getting some of the, best training in the world, and I'm so be more likely to take a tougher fight, my first fight back at 85.
How hard was it? Oh, absolutely. How hard was it for you to make that leap and go out there? Because we see so many people that, to be honest, are the big fish in a small pond, and sometimes they never really reach their full potential because they never take that risk. You've taken that risk. You went out there, but how hard was it for you to up and go out there?
It's something that I've always wanted to do, and I think everybody always has that little fear, like, man, what happens if it don't work out? But I knew deep down I had what it takes, to make the jump, and having a supportive wife. It was actually her when I come home. She was like, hey, let's move to Vegas. Let's sell everything we got and let's go. So, having her to support me definitely helped me out and made it a lot easier for me.
Like when you got out there, I know you worked out several gyms here in Kentucky, but for the people that don't know, do they just welcome you in, or did you kind of have to earn your spot, or what was that like?
They're friendly, of course, because you're in a gym, but at the same time, I definitely felt like I had to earn their respect. Guys like Roy Nelson and Blago, who just fought in the Bellator heavyweight tournament. I could, being out and around those guys at first, they were nice to me, but I didn't feel like I had anybody's respect, and it took a few weeks of just standing in there and proving myself to them to gain the respect. And I think that's any gym you go to. You can't just walk in there and get somebody's respect. You've got to earn it, and that's what you got to do when you go out to a big gym.
Like, I feel like it'd be so hard because you feel like some of these guys. You've watched them, you've seen them, and then you go out there and you're their peer. Like, was that hard for you to put that aside? Like, whoa, this is so and so, or hey, that's he's fought this guy, and be like, hey, I'm going to spar with him and I'm going to give him everything I've got.
No, I welcome that. Like, hey, there's Roy Nelson. I want to see how I do against him, or whoever it was that I sparred. Just as confidence builder, like if you can just win a minute, some guys that like King Mo's coming in, I'm going to work out with him. If I can just win one round, that's confidence. You know what I'm saying? Like to get in there with guys of that caliber and work. You set small goals, but definitely, try to get the respect.
How many people out there ask you if you know Junie Browning?
Not a whole lot of people. A lot of people don't know that we were training partners there, but I love Junie. He's an awesome guy.
Was it in the back of your mind in the show, like, I've got this shot, I don't want to end up like Junie, because that people saw Taz Ferguson, he was a little wild. Of course, Junie was wild. Was there anything saying I can't be that wild guy from Kentucky on the show?
Yeah, I didn't really want that image for me. It's not the image I was going for. in Junie's defense, because me and Junie have talked about this, so I'm going to defend him right here. But he told me, he said I only drank twice, and they edited it to make it look like I drank the whole show. So that's a little bit of reality TV for you. But yeah, I didn't want that. I didn't want that image. That wasn't my image, the bad boy image. But hey, it worked for him. At his point in his career, he was the number one talked about MMA fighter when the show was going on, and had some of the highest ratings. So it definitely made him a lot of money.
Will we see Josh Clark? And this kind of fascinated me about you when you kind of took a break from MMA. Will we see you back in the ring? Can we see you back as a professional boxer?
In boxing, yeah, definitely. I think in between fights, I'm going to take some boxing fights just to keep my hands sharp, hand-eye coordination. I think boxing's a key part of MMA, just as well as wrestling and everything else. But yeah, definitely to make some extra money on the side. Definitely plan on taking some boxing matches.
Yeah, because, you gave up your job here, right? The insurance, retirement, the whole thing. It's kind of like, wow, just let me leave that behind.
Yeah, I did. It's the way I look at it, man. You only live once, and if you've got a dream and you're really passionate about it, you got to follow it. I didn't want to be 40 and looking back and saying, man, what if? What if I would have left everything? Where would I be at? And regardless what happens now, fighting has changed my life, and it's just, the people that it's put into my life since I've been out here, my life's completely different now than what it was a year ago. And I've got the sport of MMA to thank for that. So,
what was the hardest part about being locked up in that house? Because you really don't get to talk to anybody, right? It's just you, the guys, the TV crew. You didn't really get to talk to your wife. I mean, I don't understand why, 19 seasons in, it's still like that. You're just going to go fight. It's not like you're filming the real world or anything. That's still that's old reality shows. But what was the hardest part for you?
I think just not knowing what was going on back home. Make sure my wife was, doing okay because she was staying at the house by herself, and I think that was the hardest part. Not being able to see my, family and friends. So, but they do it for a reason, man. By the time the end of the show comes around, you're just, man, everybody's got crazy thoughts going through their head, man. How they going to edit it? How they going to make me look? And it is, man. It's they design it to drive you crazy. You got to be mentally tough to be on the show. So,
what did you think about watching yourself? I've watched you before. I watched you when you fought Reggie Pena, so I've seen you on TV, but now I get to see Josh Clark, and every week I was like, damn, I know that guy. I've seen him fighting in Heritage Hall.
That is definitely different seeing myself on TV. A lot of people's like this, but I hate going back and looking like home videos, and it's kind of the same thing, man. Like hearing myself, it's just kind of weird, especially knowing that it's on national television and and the whole world's seeing it. So,
is there something in the works? I know you've got a great manager who I've talked with here. Are you hoping to get a fight here pretty soon? Yeah.
I'm looking to come back home and fight for my first fight back at 85. I need to, I think Bluegrass Brawl is the perfect show. I'm trying to get one in Bluegrass Brawl. I think it's the perfect show for me to come back home and fight in at 85, because it has been over 3 years since I've made 85 and had a fight. And it's my first fight back in 8 months. So, they do an awesome job. Since the last time I fought at the Tommy Show, it's grown a lot. They've got press conferences and all that, and they're doing, trying to do big things. So, it would be awesome to be able to come back home and fight in front of my fans and friends, and just, put on a good show for them, good performance, and because this could be the last time that, I'm able to come back to Kentucky and fight for a while. Unless the UFC comes to the Yum Yum Center, I'm the man to call up.
Absolutely, hell yeah! All right, I'd like to see him at Rupp Arena. They've done Louisville. Let's do Rupp Arena.
Yeah, let's do Rupp. Yes, definitely. I would love to I think the UFC would do good if they come to Rupp Arena.
Absolutely. You know, and you mentioned Tommy Ray Cornette. He's doing an awesome job. I remember, I think it was Bluegrass Brawl 2, your fight with Bobby Carter. I remember after the fight, waiting to leave, and I couldn't get through the crowd because there was little kids coming up to you, were signing autographs, taking pictures, and I bet you were there for a good 30, 45 minutes before you even got back to the locker room.
Yeah, you know, and I loved every minute of it. And, you know, my fans, they're what keeps me going, you know, keeps me just, man, the support and love I get, I you know, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't even, who would I be, you know? And if it wasn't for the fans in general, there wouldn't even be a sport of MMA. So I'm so appreciative of them, and, you know, got so much respect for them. I mean, if I could stand there all night and sign autographs, I would, you know. They mean a lot to me, so.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing because, you know, obviously very talented and a big star, but I'd not seen that in, like, a local MMA show, like, so many people flocking to one guy. It's like, damn, Josh Clark got it going on, man.
You know, it's definitely, I mean, it was a good experience, you know. I'm not going to lie. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like all the hard work and sacrifices that you are making are paying off, so.
I think maybe the hardest part about being in Vegas, at least for me, is you're not going to get to see all the UK basketball games. Does that kind of bum you out?
It does a little bit, man. I love UK basketball. You know, they've got a great program down there, and I try to watch. Even when I was back home, I didn't get to watch as many games as I wanted to because I didn't have cable TV. You know, but yeah, anytime I can catch a game, I'm going to definitely try to catch some. You know, go. Yeah, the 3 hours behind us, but I'm going to make at least make a habit to catch one a week. They usually play a couple times a week, so.
You can take the Big Blue Nation to Vegas. Maybe you can bring some new fans in out there. Make them appreciate
what we got.
Definitely try
to. Oh, yeah. Well, you got a lot of haters out there, too, hating on Kentucky because they're so good. But, you know, they'll jump on the bandwagon.
Well, man, I got to say I'm proud of you. It was great to watch you on the show. Even though you didn't get the contract, I don't think, to be honest, you're that far away at all. I mean, we see guys every day getting the short notice call, and I think we will see you in the octagon before too long. Before I let you go, man, I want to give you a chance to throw out any shout-outs, any thank yous, anything you want to talk to these Kentucky fans that know Josh Clark that are tuning in right now.
Yeah, you know, to my fans, I just want to say thanks for tuning in. And, you know, you guys are awesome. I also want to just thank Jay, my manager. He's done a lot of work for me. He's went to work since day one. And, you know, he's just he's not only become a manager, but he's become a great friend of mine. And you know, he's an awesome guy. I want to thank some sponsors. Hope I don't forget any. Sports Food Inc., Zion X. Let's see here. Iron Jaw Mouth Guard. And I'm trying to think of who else. Oh, Coffee Direct. So, man, thanks to those guys. They've been hooking me up, helping me out a lot, helping me with my training, and, you know, I can't thank them enough.
One last question. Real talk. If Iron Jaw Mouth Guards made you a red mouthpiece with a cardinal on it, would you wear it?
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Oh, fair enough, man. Dude, thank you so much.
Yeah, he didn't like doing the Kentucky one because he was from Tennessee. So.
Oh, even worse. That's worse than Louisville.
Yeah, definitely worse. You know, but man, guys, I appreciate y'all having me on.
Well, man, thank you. Enjoy your time. I got so much respect for you getting out there, chasing that dream, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon, Josh.
Awesome. Hopefully, I'll see you all August 16th at a Heritage Hall. So, thank you all for tuning in, man. It means a lot.
There you guys go. Josh Clark coming back August 16th. I haven't seen an announcement on that one. I'm going to have to text Tommy Ray and be like, hey, you holding out on me? Juan ain't even listening. Juan.
I heard you. I can't believe you, of all people, didn't know about that. I'm stunned. I'm shocked.
That's some breaking news. I thought fucking Ben Sargent was going to main event again. I was kind of disappointed. No offense, Ben Sargent. Don't want to start no more drama with you, but Juan.
I don't like what?
You'll start some drama with Ben.
Hey, is he fighting on
He's fighting Michael Seals? Yeah, I thought that was the main event, but if Josh Clark was back, shit. Put him at the bottom of the card.
Josh Clark hasn't fought here in 3 years. He's going to be the first fight of the night, okay? He has to earn that Bluegrass Brawl main event status. I don't care if you're on Ultimate Fighter. You got to work your way up the ladder.
That's a true story. At Bluegrass Brawl 2, he fought Bobby Carter, and I was trying, to be honest, I was trying to get paid. I was trying to get to Tommy Ray to get my check, because I judged that night. And you couldn't go nowhere, man. Little kids coming up, taking pictures. I photobombed a couple of them. Josh had these leg kicks, man. He was snapping Bobby Carter in half. I think he actually let me look. I think he TKO'd him from leg kicks. Could be the case.
I know, right? It's unbelievable.
We got Bobby Carter.
It was kind of funny when
yeah, TKO strikes, but it was leg kicks, I remember.
When Josh Clark said, I forget what his exact quote was, so I'm going to paraphrase here, when he says, people don't know about Kentucky MMA or whatever he said, and you're right. Or when he said, people are always bashing on Kentucky MMA. You best believe we are. Screw Kentucky. Ohio for the win.
Ohio's not worth. Oh, Juan, we just got an email. It says Bluegrass MMA penis enlargement. I love spam emails. That's true. I assume that this was directed towards you, so I'm going to send it to you.
I see. That is your email inbox, so I don't use that email. So that must clearly be for you. When you're out there putting an email address in into all these websites, yes, I want to cheat on my wife, CougarLife.com, and
Farmers Only.
Farmers. Hey, that's you right there. Screw that Cougar Life. You're Farmers Only. I'm gonna sign your account up. I'll make a fake profile, put your picture on it, boom.
Put Aaron's picture.
Get all the farmers. He's not a farmer.
He looks more like a farmer than I do.
That's debatable on all levels.
We're going to take a quick break. Jose Figueroa, main event. Gladiators of the Cage, son. We'll be on here in just a few minutes. Sit back, relax. This is a Bluegrass MMA Live.
Tune in to Louisville's #1 combat sports show, The Knockout Hour, every Sunday morning from 9 a.m. until 10, right here on 1450 WXVW. Hosts Kelly Patrick and Gary Thomas bring you the top stories from the world of boxing and mixed martial arts. The Knockout Hour is brought to you by BluegrassMMA.com and the Kentuckiana Agency of Transamerica, the home of tax-free retirement.
Intimidation Clothing has proven to be the biggest supporter of local MMA in the industry, sponsoring the top regional events across the globe. While other brands come and go, Intimidation is a brand that represents stability, with over 110 different styles of high-quality t-shirts, hats, hoodies, training gear, and more. Browse our premium quality merchandise at IntimidationClothing.com and use Radio 10 to save 10% off your order. When you think local MMA, think Intimidation Clothing. Nobody supports local MMA like Intimidation. Nobody.
You are listening to the ProMMANow.com radio network.
You're listening to the Ohio Valley's #1 source for MMA. This is Bluegrass MMA Live. Now, once again, your hosts, Juan Valley and Gary Thomas.
Top of the hour, mates. Gary Thomas here alongside Juan Valley. Yeah, switching up a little bit. Be a little diverse. We're back, hour number 2, and we got a big event this weekend. If I can get away from the casino, I think I'll be able to. But
hey, all right, this is the plan. You hearing me?
I'm listening.
I'm going to go to the show You're going to go to the boat and gamble, all right?
It's not a boat.
So the whole time I'm at the event, or whatever it is, the casino, and you're going to win us tons of money, and we're just going to go north and go to Canada, move away, live in Canada forever.
I'll be honest, if I win a bunch of money, I'm leaving you there.
You ain't leaving me. You can't leave me.
I can't quit you. Gladiators of the Cage, making history, the first promotion to hold an event inside an Ohio casino. I think it's been a couple years now that that the gambling's been legal there. Huge card. Gladiators of the Cage coming from Pittsburgh to Cleveland, North Plainfield, however you take it, and putting on a big event. We're excited. We've watched. We've seen a lot of their action. Their middleweight champ, Chris Dempsey, just got signed to the UFC. He's fighting Saturday. Big fights. We've got Damazada taking on Chris Dunn in their August event when they're back there. But this will be for the fans of Ohio. In the main event, you've got Dom Steele from Vision MMA, who's taking on our next guest. He's here with us right now, former M1 Global lightweight champ. Mr. Figueroa, how are you?
Doing great, man. Just getting excited about the big show and the Hard Rock coming up, man. Ready to do my thing.
This is a trip for you, man. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're down in Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Florida, man. I'm down here in the South, man, doing my thing. Training hard up in this heat.
Yeah, I was going to say, thank God you're coming in July and not like January, because it would be a big shock to go from sunny Florida to the frigid, cold Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, definitely, man. I know how that is. I went to Russia in the cold. I got sick, so it's not a good thing. I'm definitely happy it's at a good time.
Man, big fight. How did this come about? Because these guys are from Pennsylvania. They're fighting in Ohio, but they get you to come up for the main event. How excited were you to get that call?
Man, you know what? I'm not sure exactly how it went down. My manager handled everything, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was some of the situation I was running in, having problems getting fights with guys, around this area in the Southeast. And, last show I was supposed to fight on, I couldn't get an opponent, and I trained for 6.5 weeks for it. And, I didn't get an opponent. And, maybe Dom Steele's running into the same issues. So, they figured, stick these two guys together and have a big show.
Absolutely. You talked about going to Russia. You came through the M1 Global scene. What was that like for you? Because I see them now, I follow them on Instagram. I try to catch their events. Like, they're blowing up. What was that like to go through that process and fight for them?
Oh, man, it was huge, man. Like, I was actually just, doing my thing, training, and I got called up to jump into the America's tournament. And, and actually it was a good tournament, in America's tournament. A couple of guys, Pat Aldenwood and Dennis Bermudez that fight in the UFC. Those guys were in that tournament. I ended up getting in with a bye, so I only had to win 2 to win the tournament. I won that tournament. They gave me a title shot. I won that, and then I got to fight out in Russia, man. It was like 35,000 people. The president was there. It was on the Fedor Munson card, and that was the co-main event. So it was a huge experience, man. And I feel like all that, especially traveling, out there and being such on a big show, is gonna help me through a lot of other events, and it helped me mentally just become stronger, And those guys are tough, man. Being out there with the Russians, fighting out there, being able to see that lifestyle of theirs, man, it's definitely, a life-changing thing, because those guys are grinders. Those guys are, they're definitely different. And you see all the guys going in the UFC now, and they're making big moves. The guy actually lost my belt to just won the Bellator tournament. He'll be fighting for the world title next.
You had some time off after your M1 trip. You came back, and it's almost like the same situation here. You fought Osterneck there, and he was on a tear, like 6-7 fights in a row, and you went in there and you beat him. You're coming. It's kind of the same thing with Dom Steele. He's got some wins in a row. Is it a similar camp for you? I mean, it's similar opponent. It's kind of like the circumstances seem to be about the same.
Yeah, I look at it as a very similar fight. I think it's just a little bit different, as in, instead of working on defending submissions, it's more of on trying to work to get up and stuff like that. So I mean, but definitely type of fight where pretty much the same type of game plan, just a little bit of things had to be tweaked. But like you said, it was a huge fight. I had 2 years off, man. I fought in Russia. When I got knocked out, I was supposed to fight for a little bit, and I fought soon. I had a year suspension, and then I had old management that kind of lost contact with me after that, and I was having fights. So it was ended up a year and 3/4 off, and I wanted to fight at 70. I couldn't get a fight, so I ended up taking that fight at 85 with the Osternick and winning. It was a huge fight to come off that much of a layoff, but once it's either fight or not fight, and I'm fighting.
You talk about management. How I talk to fighters all the time, and you can really tell a difference who has good management and not. And I've known Jason for a long time, and he's actually coming up to the show with you, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, man. He's really good, man. I had several managers throughout my career, and I haven't never had someone that kept in contact with me so much, worried about my training and actually try to help me, hit me up with training partners and different things like that, man. And, and also help and just life issues and stuff like that. I mean, management's huge, man. I signed with guys that didn't give me a fight for a year. I had a management. I couldn't get a fight for a year. I ended up fighting Edson Barbosa with a year off. Just stupid, just a lot of things that that happens on the fight scene. A lot of things that people don't see. It's not only how good you are or how prepared you are. It's also what fight you take at the right time. You want a manager that's going to take you up and take the right step at the right time. And I feel like with Jason, I got a better look than those guys out there.
How important is it for you to stay active? You had that layoff. This will be your second fight of 2014, but you're a guy that, 2010, 2011, you were hot. You were fighting all the time. Can you tell a difference, either mentally, physically, and competing, kind of back-to-back, staying busy, then having that layoff? Does it change? Some people will get complacent. Some people are impatient. How's that work for you?
For me, man, I mean, like last fight, I went out there and I was calm, I was good, everything was fine. I just didn't fire the way I should have right in the beginning, and I he actually broke my nose and had my back and was all over me until I actually woke up, and that's when I caught him with the big punch. But man, it plays a lot of role, man. Especially sometimes, sometimes you might get in there, it might not, sometimes it will. Being active is definitely going to help you, because your timing in there is a lot different than your timing in the gym. One thing I've been trying to do is go to a lot of different spots and a lot of different sparring. I've been traveling to Coconut Creek more just to get a lot of different looks, give me more of that fight type training, training with guys that I haven't been able to train to, because one thing that's huge in the game is learning how to adjust. If you train with the same training partners all the time, you don't work on that skill of learning how to adjust to different fighters. But I definitely feel prepared, and coming off that last fight. I mean, man, I had 2 fight camps that fell through since that fight. That's why I haven't fought since. I was supposed to fight. They moved the show, and then I didn't get an opponent, so I pretty much trained for 13 weeks for nothing.
Damn.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I would have had. I mean, and another thing too is I was pretty much waiting for them from it was February. I mean, I felt I could have had like 2 or 3 fights by now.
Yeah, man, that's unfortunate. And like, what's that do? Like, you have that momentum. You're in camp. You've got this goal, right? You've got this thing dangling in front of you. You got a date. You know what's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen. We talked to a guest earlier tonight who said, they can always fall back on training, but some guys, especially at the level you're at, like, this is very much a part of how they make their money, how you make your living. What's the frustration level like for you when you invest that time and money and all that, and then it doesn't happen?
Oh man, I mean that was like heartbreaking for me, man, because I had fought I was in February. I was supposed to have that thing in April, and I was ready to go. I mean, I was already training the next Monday, and I had a face mask on because my nose was broke. So I was in there training with a face mask on, grappling with the dang thing on, and doing everything, just constantly ready to get in there, get back in there and work on my skills. And and another thing, the fights that I was training for were 5-minute rounds. So that's how much the conditioning I was building up to. That's almost twice as much work as a normal fight. You know what I mean? So I went through 2 camps of that. Of trying to work up to the 5 rounds of conditioning, and that's a totally whole different ball game than training for a 3-5-minute fight. You know what I mean? Because like I fought in M1 where I had the belt, I had to train for those. I know how gruesome they are and how it's almost double the fight. It's that extra 2 rounds is a big deal.
Absolutely, man.
Money wise, that destroyed me money wise because I haven't fought for 2 years. You know what I mean? Shit, I'm broke as hell by the time I ain't fought in 2 years. I mean, I teach. That's only enough to pay the bills. That's not going to give me, a savings and get me, on the right track. So after that happened 2 times in a row, I thought things were looking good. I'm like, all right, I got some money in the bank, and now, I'm going to keep this rolling. And, it's just devastating after, that 2 camps falling through like that.
Dude, much respect for, people talk about the grind, and doing everything they can to kind of make ends meet and chasing their dreams. But, at some point you got to think, I got to get over the hump and get my head above water, right? And when you lose a fight like that, like you said, it kind of, you lose that time, but you lose that momentum, and it kind of set the clock back a little bit.
Yeah, exactly, man. Especially, it's one thing when you're active and it happens. It's another when you're off for 2 years and you're finally thinking, this is going to happen. I'm back on the road. I just came off that huge win. I mean, things couldn't be looking better, and that happened. Actually, between that time, those 2 fight camps got canceled, and I had another opponent. He pulled out of the fight and was saying that he didn't get a contract, had a different name on it from him or some crap. That he agreed to fight someone else, and when he got the contract that had my name on it, he said he didn't agree to that or whatever, and our contract had his name on it. But this type of crap you got to deal with. It's pretty bad, man. A lot of these guys, they say they want to fight, and then they call them up and they don't want to fight, man. It's just kind of, that's why I'm actually happy. I know Dom Steele, I was actually getting paranoid because, that guy backed out, and then, they couldn't get me no one in the Southeast. They had trouble getting me anyone anyways. And I knew Dom Steele was a tough guy, and I knew he would show up. So I was actually happy about having him as an opponent.
What's the biggest difference in you now than 8 years ago when you made your debut? What's the biggest change in your fighting style or in your training or just in your life since that first fight you took?
Man, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of things, man. I mean, first of all, I've never fought an amateur fight, so I feel like, getting to M1 and winning the belt and stuff like that, it's just the beginning for me because, I've never had an amateur fight. I jumped on and had tough fights right in the beginning. A lot of my fights were pretty tough. I didn't have those easier fights where you get to work and learn in there and build yourself up. I didn't really get, I kind of did it the old, the old school way of just, getting in there and banging it out with the tough guys and not building my record and stuff like that. And, now that I feel like now, especially these last 2 fights, my hands have been a little bit, I'm finding my timing a lot better than I was before. Then I always did good with them, but I mean, last 2 fights, I felt like I had some good devastating shots in there, and that definitely came into play. I mean, also too now, this is gonna be my 19th fight, so I feel like that's just I almost feel like most of those other fights were almost like amateur fights because I've never even had an amateur career, and I'm an instructor too now. I got my guys, they're having 10 or 12 fights before they even, go pro. You know, if they're wrestlers, I stick them out there and make them do those Muay Thai fights where they get their hands right and get their timing right on their hands before they even turn pro. And I wish I had somebody doing that for me. You know, back then guys just went out there and did the damn thing and didn't really think about everything. You know, now I feel also too, now that I'm older, I'm a lot wiser. You know what I mean? I'm not making stupid mistakes like fighting when a couple weeks after getting knocked out and taking fights when I have like a damn near broken leg and just trying to not just do stand up for a fight when I'm fighting a wrestler. Just stupid things I used to do in the past that I feel like, you know, I'm a little bit wiser now, you know, and I feel like it's starting to show in these last couple fights, especially these last two fights.
Listen, guys, don't let me fool you. You're talking about being old. You're not even 30 yet, are you?
Nah, I'm 29.
You young pup. You're making me feel old.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, I feel like I have it's definitely been, you know, I'm definitely got a lot of years left in me, man. Especially, I feel like, you know, another big thing that it is actually like strength and conditioning. I always lift. I wasn't really a big weightlifter, that's a bad thing. Now this is actually my first camp that I actually worked the conditioning. I mean, I've always done conditioning, but I also did the strength. So with the strength and conditioning coach, and now I felt the difference. You know what I mean? I felt the difference of how, you know, you can maintain your power over those 3 5-minute rounds, you know, compared to when you're only having the conditioning. I feel a lot better with it. I feel like now I'm just going to get better and better each fight camp because my numbers on my lifts are all going to get better. Each fight camp I'm going to have better stats and I'm going to be better than I ever been before.
Let's bring on a guy that knows you well. He's going to be traveling with you, Mr. Jason Ellis. Jason, welcome back to the show, my friend.
Hey, Gary. How you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing well. Listening to Jason, he's trying to sound old. Let's be honest. He's 29. His AARP card hasn't come in yet.
No, he's not catching. He's not quite there yet, but I will say that my AARP card's almost here. But, you know, I mean, this is a great opportunity for Jose to go out and showcase the hard work and dedication he puts into his day-to-day, you know, and also an opportunity for him to set an example for his students that he's instructed and teaching, you know, to show them that, you know, if this is something that you want to pursue, it is possible with him setting that example. And that's what we're looking to do Saturday night, you know. Jose is a great guy, family-orientated. I have to say that, you know, he's definitely been a pleasure working with and working with him and kind of envisioning the same goals and working together to achieve them, you know.
So what you're saying is you're not going to let him take his check and come to the casino with me after the fight. Is that what you're saying?
No. Well, if he wants to do that, then I'm going to make good on my promise I told him earlier today, since I have to get up an extra couple hours earlier than I originally planned. Only if he lets me make good on my promise, then I'll allow that for a little bit.
Uh-oh. What about that?
He knows what promise that is.
Is that a no-go? Are we saying we ain't going to be...
It's your call, Jose. If you're down to let me do that, then I won't stop you for a little bit. What are you kidding me, bro? I don't want your wife coming after me.
I'll tell you.
I would let you do it anyway, man. I don't want your wife coming after me, bro.
Now we find out who the boss is. Now we know who the boss is.
Yeah, he thinks I'm a mean one. She's the mean one. Nah, man. Shoot, after having 2 fight camps and no pay, I'm definitely taking this money home. Ain't no risk with this money. That's going in the bank.
Well, I won't taunt you and say, well, you know, we'll double it, maybe triple it. I'll leave that talk alone. But Jason, let me ask you this: like, you're so well connected. You know, Jose's had coming up from Florida. You know, obviously he fought for Warfare, which is still in the South, but like this is a big deal. First of all, this is a big deal for Gladiators of the Cage, being the first show in a big casino in Ohio. But like this is a huge fight. You know, it's going to be live on internet pay-per-view. I expect, you know, just a ton of people there. Like, I feel like you really bust your ass for these guys, and it shows bringing a guy from Florida up to beautiful, sunny Lakeside Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what to expect and make of Cleveland just yet, but I'm sure we'll find out before the weekend's over with. But at the end of the day, I mean, Gary, I've been on your show before. You've had the opportunity, to come on before in the past with other athletes that you guys did interviews. I mean, we are who we are. With at the end of the day, it's a team effort. It's not a one-sided ordeal. I'm selective about the athletes that I work with. Like, I refuse to work with prima donnas. I'm not going to kiss your ass. One thing, and Jose can tell you, I tell all athletes that I work with, and I tell them right from the beginning, you might not like what I have to say, but you'll respect me because I always keep it 100 and tell you how it is. I won't sugarcoat it and be a yes man. It's just not in my personality. And the gratification for me is knowing how hard these guys work in the gym, when these opportunities are provided for them, and then watching them get their arm raised at the end of the night, and knowing that I'm a part of, helping them reach their goals and their ambitions and accomplish things, So, I mean, that's really why I do it.
Will you pull double duty Saturday? Will you be in his corner, or are you just going to be there?
I will be in this corner as well, Jeff.
Oh, snap. Yeah. I love that.
It's going down, baby. He gives me the confidence too, man. It's just not. This is, like I said, it's my first manager that looked out for me deeper than the rest of them, and not only that, he gives me extra confidence. And I already have enough confidence on my own in my training. So with him along me, we're gonna get the job done.
It's a team effort, man. The people that support him in the gym, American Top Team, and then and us, myself, and Chuck Wickard over at MMA United. That's how we are with all our athletes. We're hands-on. We work together, and, we set out to achieve, the goals and everything else that we break down and designate, And this is just another stop on the road to what we're working for Jose,
I got to say, I'm super excited for this fight. I'm super excited for this event. I'm not super excited for the 6.5-hour drive to Cleveland. But Juan is gonna. I'm just have to drive to Juan's house. He's gonna drive me the rest of the way, so that's a plus.
Are you coming in on Friday for the weigh-ins?
No, we won't be there till early Saturday.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you're coming in Friday for the weigh-ins and all that, and driving in to just throw it out there, do you feel like putting on the chauffeur hat? We'll all go get dinner after the weigh-ins are done.
Listen, I thought about it. I just took a vacation, or I would have taken off work and made Juan drive me extra. But he's got to work. I got to work. But I'm excited, definitely excited for this event. We're about out of time, guys. Thank you all so much for coming on. Jason, always for the opportunity to talk to your guys. They're always class acts. Before I let you go, though, I'll start with you, Jason. Any shout-outs or anything? Because I know you work with a lot of great companies that sponsor your fighters. Want to throw any plugs out there before we flip it over to Jose?
Honestly, I mean, this is Jose's time, brother. We'll let him do what he needs to do. You know what I mean? Those are the people that I do work with. They know I appreciate them. And actually, I will say this: Alchemy Water. Very big part with working relationship and helping us keep our athletes hydrated fueling through their training camps, But other than that, this is Jose's time. Let him do what he needs to do.
All right, Jose, take it away, my man. The floor is all yours.
All right, man. I just want to give a shout out to one of my sponsors that they actually came out and checked me out at the gym in Florida. They're from South Carolina, Unique Kennels. Also, I want to give a shout out to the UFC because I'm knocking at the door and get me a couple more wins. I'm going to be up in there and you guys are going to see me doing my thing. And I'm definitely not going to let Dom Steele stop me. And everyone that's going out to the show, it's going to be a good main event. I can guarantee you that. I'm going to go out there ready to bang and let the fireworks happen.
Well, man, we can't wait. Hopefully it's almost Saturday. It's just Tuesday. When do you guys leave? When are you guys getting up there?
Thursday morning. We're leaving.
Yeah, Thursday morning.
We're coming in. We're going to be there Thursday afternoon. Like I said, Jose, if you want to go to the casino with Gary, then you're going to allow me to make good on my promises for the early morning wake up.
Shut up.
Oh
no.
I'll let you slide this time, Jose. Next time, when we're at Mandalay Bay, though, watching you fight, you got to come out to the casino, right?
Oh, you ain't lying. I gotta spend some UFC money there, baby. Gotta spend some UFC money.
And when that time comes, hopefully I won't have to get up at the Buck Record Dawn to get him either.
You'll have been there all week. You'll have been there all week, Jason. You'll be in that plush suite. It'll be okay. We'll let him out.
Well,
I'll talk to his wife. We'll smooth all this over.
In all reality, just the reward to see when that time comes for him and see him accomplish that, all I need, all the gratification I need.
Guys, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. Just a few days. We will see you guys Saturday in, I guess it's Cleveland, North Plainfield, Streetsboro, whatever. We'll be in Northern Ohio Saturday night. Jose Figueroa versus Dom Steele in the main event. Guys, take care. Have a great trip, and we'll see you on Saturday.
See you. Have a good night, sir. Thank you.
All right, guys. Take it easy, man.
There you guys go. Jose Figueroa, Jason Ellis. I just hung up on Juan. So now it's all my show. We've got Bubba McDaniel here in about a minute. Remember, go check out our great sponsors. We've got Banktown Fightwear, Audible.com. Remember the link. Write it down. Write it down. AudibleTrial.com/Pro MMA now. That's how we roll. 30 free days, 1 free audio book. I might have to download something for this ride. Juan drives like a woman. No offense to women drivers, but he drives really slow. I'm used to driving really fast. So,
boy, I know you ain't talking about me.
I'm talking about you and your driving.
No, you ain't.
I is.
Because my driving is impeccable.
I knew you were going to say impeccable. Doesn't even fit.
I know. We were talking about that word the other day and how it's being overused. So I figured I would use it there.
All right.
I got to fit in where I can,
Get in where you fit in, son. We've got about 20 minutes left on the program. Remember, we've not even uploaded our first Knights of the Cage. I sent Juan the files last week. Never saw the light of day.
Oh, is that what this were?
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk after we.
What do you think I Dropboxed you? Just some random stuff?
Honestly, you named them Jimbo, so I thought they were Jimbo's podcast.
No. It. I should have changed the name. It was just the Skype. Who all we had on Skype.
Oh yeah. Well, I got to complain about it, but we'll talk afterwards.
All right. Are we ready for our next guest?
We are.
And there goes Juan. We're going to close things out with Bubba McDaniel, UFC vet, Bellator veteran, and he's coming back to Indiana. And I think he's here with us right now, Mr. Bubba McDaniel. What's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
Appreciate you taking time out to do this. Coming back to Indiana, I feel like it's full circle for Bubba McDaniel.
Yeah, it's definitely full circle, because it was my home away from home, the very first one I had away from Texas, that's for sure.
I can remember LFC days, 8-Second Saloon. I mean, it feels like forever ago, just a couple years ago. Then, of course, you made your run through the Ultimate Fighter. Last saw you on Bellator. Like, how have things changed since the last time you fought in well, I guess you did fight Tavares there, but coming back to a regional show, what's the difference in Bubba McDaniel now and that Bubba McDaniel that beat Keith Cunningham back in 2012?
That was a dude that was still hungry back then. That was trying to get to the UFC, and I think once I got there, I got a little big-headed for a second, and it kind of chops you down the show and everything, doing all that and then being humbled real bad. Brought me back to reality. I'm a hungry dude again, trying to get back to it. So, you know, the aspirations of being back in the UFC and, you know, performing well in Bellator and, you know, just wherever I'm at the time, you know, it's just I've got the goals and aspirations again. You know, I'm a hungry dude again. So it's honestly, I think I'm back to being that guy I was then.
Not to bring up the past or anything, but I feel, and this is just my opinion, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that when you were in Indianapolis fighting Tavares, if that was a 5-round fight, you would have won. Would you agree with me?
I completely agree. Completely agree. You know, the thing is, sometimes I'm not the greatest first-round fighter. That's a known thing. Like I kind of like to go in there, feel it out, feel the strengths, feel the, you know, find my places. You know, I'm one of those guys that, you know, the longer the fight goes on and the more I can feel you, sometimes that's way better for me. You know, I'm a thinking man in the fight, you know, and sometimes it changes up, you know, fights are fights at the time, and I'm still trying to think my way through it. I didn't really snap into realizing I had to fight, you know, like, oh, crap, I might lose this fight now until about halfway through that second round, you know, ending around on your back's never a good thing in the first place, you know, so, but I do feel like I broke him down into the third round, but, you know, by then it's already too late. All he has to do at that point is hang on to the decision, and he had it won, you know, so.
Is it hard, like when you get into the third round, but you've not really, like in that fight, you really didn't take much damage, right? So do you have to
yeah, well, my leg and my side were meat. Yeah, he landed some pretty good kicks, and my leg was, I was limping for a few days. So, but, you know, talking out of the head damage, things like that, yeah, I took a few shots that set me down on my butt, whatever, but yeah, as a finished point of the fight, there was a lot of fight left in me. There was a couple of rounds that still could have been gone.
Yeah, that's I can remember watching it and like, man, if this could went a little bit longer, it'd have been a different fight. And I think, you know, I had some conversations on Twitter about it, but like going through this whole process, I mean, you've been a road warrior since the beginning. You know, you fought King in the Cage, you know, most recently at Bellator, but you fought early on in the Bellator days, going through the Ultimate Fighter process. Does the business side of things, does that jade you any? Because I know that
oh yeah,
there's a fiasco on Twitter about how much money you made, and which wasn't like a derogatory thing. It's not like you were bitching about it or anything, but like I just feel like some guys can get caught up in that, like the negativity that is so far away from like the purest form of fighting.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about that tweet too. As soon as I did it, I erased it literally within 10 seconds of it being up because I realized what happened compared to sending a message to I had to send it to my mother, to my accountant, to my manager, things like that, and I had linked it to the wrong person also, which was Twitter. You know, having these space age phones is fun, but sometimes it'll make you pay at the times you didn't want it to have stuff out there. So yeah, it was one of those times, you know, like. It was one of those, and, you know, honestly, I thought, oh, crap, that would have been bad if it had been out. And then all of a sudden, everybody's tweeting me about it and calling me and going, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm like, uh-oh. So, but, you know, I called up immediately, tried to make amends, things like that, saying, yo, this was a pure accident, and I swear it. You know, there was no gripe, argument, things like that. Like I said, that was the most money I've made ever in my life. You know what I mean? So why would I be crying about it? You know, and it's one of those things, people took it and ran with it whatever direction they wanted to. You know, I never said anything bad. I never tried to have it even out there. And, you know, like you're saying, it can be jaded. But at the same time, I was on the show as a heel. People are looking for things to be able to, you know, shoot me down even farther into the ground with. So it's one of those things where I just got to take it and roll with it, you know, because, you know, if people weren't talking about me at all, you know, I don't think I'd really been doing anything worth a crap.
Absolutely. What's it like when, like in that case, where everybody's talking about you, but it's not about your fighting? You know, you all that attention. I can remember just the whole media fiasco around it, and everybody's writing articles about it. I'm like, what? Really? What's the big deal about this? You know, you're back in the spotlight, but not for like your talent. It's
not for anything.
It's gotta be it's gotta be a weird spot, right?
I think that everybody had the thoughts that I had a little bit of talent, but always wanted to break me down even farther because, you know, a lot of people just literally hate me. Like, they don't know me. They just hate me. I've got more haters in this world than anything else, which is all right. I'm cool with it. They still know my name. But on top of that, it's one of those things where somebody's got to, find something to bitch about at all times. Somebody's got to, go off and make feel better about their life, by breaking somebody else's down. It just is what it is. And, I was shot into that spot from the Ultimate Fighter, and like I was saying, it just comes with the territory, and I've come to, learn that I can't really control anybody else and what they think. I just got to do me now.
Let me ask you this: would you do the Ultimate Fighter again if they called today and said, "Hey, want to give you another chance, but you're gonna have to go back through the process"? Would you do it again?
Okay, depends. Are we doing another one season of one weight class? Are we doing a season with 2 weight classes where the most you would have to fight was to get in the house and 2 more fights? Would it be a fight, and at 205? Would it be, just a lot of different factors could play into that, because I made weight 4 times in 5 weeks from 210 to 185, and I remember thinking right before the Kevin Casey fight, that Thanksgiving thing, all that happened, I was like, I hate this, I want to go home, fuck all this, I'm sorry about the language, but, it is what it is at that point. That's the way I felt. I was so over it, so done, my body hurt so much, all I was doing was sleeping all day, unless I was in the gym, and, barely getting to eat. I remember I got so used to eating, those seaweed wraps. They're 10 calories a piece. They put 10 in a package. When I'd wake up starving or whatever and I couldn't eat, I'd eat me one of those, like, a little bit at a time. So even after I, got out and Uriah broke my face and everything, for a couple of days, I still just, when I would feel hungry, I would grab those things. I was mentally thrown all the way off. I weighed 226, like, 5 days later after the Uriah fight. People don't realize my body was killing. It was one of those things where it was soaking up every bit of nutrients, every bit of everything it could at that point. I was a hurting person. So, to go back in that house to do different things, it would take a lot of different situations, scenarios for that situation to happen.
That's, man. I would say, yeah, if it was one of those where you didn't have to make weight twice, like this last season, the multiple weight classes, that would be all right. But yep. Dude, that can't, like,
I could possibly pull that, yeah. But other than that, yeah, just the one weight class all the way around, having to make weight and stay down that long, not for me. Not again. 205, we could talk, because I can keep myself around 215 and be feeling good and feeling healthy and all that. Cut what's that, like if I was a 70-pounder in an 85 show. I always tell people ever since then, you go sign up for a show, sign up a weight class higher.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever worry about what that's going to do to your body, like long term?
Yeah, I tell people, I was like, I took years off my life doing that. I guarantee you I did. And it's one of those things. It's the price I paid for being there, and it's the price I paid for, the things that I've done over the years, it's what I chose to do. It's one thing that, you have a personal choice at that time. And I know the risks, I know the rewards, things like that. And, the risks are real bad, but, who in this world can say that, like growing up, you're not the greatest athlete, you're a bullied kid, you're things like that and the other, to be able to say, hey, I became a professional athlete for fighting. I got paid to fight, you know what I mean? Like things like, the whole world knew my name for one thing, it was fighting. It's things that you dream of as a kid. I have all kind of people tell me, man, like that was so cool. Guys that I didn't get along with even for a long time, like they're coming up going, hey man, my kid thinks you're a hero. Can he have a picture with you? It's just different things that have, that give you the sense of, yeah, it was worth it. The process, the grueling stuff of it all, it was worth it. So, like I was saying, it did take some years, I guarantee it. And I've had a lot of bitterness toward it and everything. I had a long time, being bitter at MMA altogether just because of, like you were saying, the business aspect, everything coming around. I'm just now getting back to loving everything again. I'm finding my fire again, all that good stuff. So, I have goals, aspirations, and being back to the person I was, So it's one of those things, like I was saying, I know that I made my choices, and I'm okay with it.
We saw Kevin Casey take a couple fights, after his release, got back in. We see every week somebody stepping in on a week's notice, 2 weeks' notice. Do you feel that call, that you're just a couple fights away from that? Because let's be honest, once you're a veteran, it seems like that's the bigger pool that they can draw from, and they have a relationship, they know who you are, they know what you're about, So do you feel like you're going to be back sooner rather than later?
As of right now, I'm still signed with Bellator. I've got a few more fights there, and that's where I'm at. That's what I'm focused on right now. Is winning the fights I have there. After that, done and taken care of, we'll explore what's going on. And see what's at it. But right now, I'm just trying to beat everybody they put in front of me. I want to stay busy. Because when you're in the big show, you have big long layoffs, man, and you gotta have that ring time, and sometimes you get a little more rusty. Like you got to think from the show to the finale to the Indianapolis, and Indianapolis to Dallas, man, that was a long stretches of nothingness in between. And being in the cage and having your timing with your small gloves, things like that, it makes a big difference. So I want to stay busy for a little longer, and just get my hands working again, get everything moving, get right again. And if I run back in there, have a big splash back into it. The fights with Bellator that I have left, I want to go out there, I want to put on shows. I want people to see I'm a really skilled dude, that everybody talks about. I just need to put it into play and actually get these wins and get these hands moving.
I know it probably wasn't a big deal for you, but I can remember leading up to Bellator 121, and I'm a huge Bellator fan, but my biggest gripe was, who are these guys on TV, and why is Bubba McDaniel not on TV? What was up with that?
Well, at the time, that's their tournament schedule, and I knew that they had tournaments coming up, and those guys, they paid their dues with the Bellator as an organization. Me, I've been elsewhere, I've been things like that, but it doesn't automatically give me a shot to just be somewhere with Bellator right off the bat. That's kind of, it's one of those things where I go back to telling everybody, you got to pay your dues everywhere you go, like those guys that have been there, and, I just step right on top of them. That's kind of bunk, so I was okay with it, and, it's one of those things where I'm sure that, they see performances, they see things like that. I'll get to move up just like anybody else, at the same process. It's just, like I was saying, my name is my name, and I've had enough fights, this, that, and the other, but once I'm there, they'll know to keep me there.
Are you, and this is kind of tricky, are you more excited now that Scott Coker's there? I mean, just because of it's going to be different, Scott has that, I was a huge fan of what he did with Strikeforce, I think it's going to be that boost in the arm that's going to be great for me as a fan and for you as a fighter.
That's the thing, man. I'm waiting to see how their next few events go. Because everybody knew what Bellator had to offer and what came with the territory, things like that for so long now. Now that you've got changes happening, I'm still sitting back going, what all's happening? And once I know all the factors, things like that, yeah, man, I can get more excited about things. As of right now, it's still a big unknown on a lot of different things. And I'm just waiting to see it all happen and unfold.
Absolutely. Now, just a couple weeks back in Indiana, do we have an opponent yet? Can you break some news? Tell us if they found somebody for you.
That's the thing. We've got possible opponents. We have possible opponents. As of right now, like, I'm sure that I am fighting, straight up. One way or another, I'm fighting. And it's going to happen. As of right now, we've got a couple of people on the roster. It's I know Ron Carter is one of the guys that's on there, and the thing is about that is Ron and me, man, we've been cool for a long time, and it was one of those things where we kind of was, I don't want to fight you don't want to fight me, and but if it comes down to it, we're getting to the nitty gritty right now, and I'm just down to fight. So I mean, if he accepts things like that, the commission says let's do it, we're gonna probably get it. I got a lot of respect for that dude too, man. I remember when he broke his leg against James Shaw. And didn't even win. So that's a tough dude.
Wow, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The fight.
Went in there and helped carry that dude out of the ring, and he's just kind of looking, going, "See that? See my leg? Yeah, I see your leg, bro."
Craziness, man. The event is July 26th, Indianapolis, Indiana, Extreme Combat Challenge Fireworks. I'm excited. We're going to be there.
Yes, sir.
We're excited about the event. Tons of great pros on the card. Bubba, thank you so much for taking the time out to do this. It's going to be great to get to see you, be there. Huge event. Before I let you go, though, man, anything you want to throw out there to our listeners? Any shout-outs, thank yous, anything?
Yeah, man, I want to say thanks to ECC for letting me come back. You know, I used to help set up, referee all the events and everything. Now I'm being brought in to fight on another. It's kind of one of those nice homecomings back to Indiana. You know, I got to do the Indianapolis UFC and everything. Now I'm, going to get to be a little more personable out there, before, after the fights, during the fight, everything like that. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna do it. I'm bringing a couple of buddies from Texas up with me and everything. Show them what it's like up there in Indiana. See why I loved it up there too. And other than that, thanks to the ECC people. Thanks to Karma Fight Gear has been helping me out. Got people from Zeal for Life helping me out. Just different people helping make this possible for me, keep me busy in the sport. It's very, very appreciated.
Well, man, thank you for the time. Just a couple weeks away. We will see you in Indianapolis. And until then, take care, and we'll talk again soon.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
There you guys go. Bubba McDaniel, Coming Home. I feel like I should cue up that Coming Home song. I can remember when, I think when last time he fought there.
I'm coming home. I'm coming home.
This isn't karaoke, bitch.
Karaoke. Hey, that's what we should do. Episode Bluegrass MMA Live, episode 200, karaoke. Boom.
Well,
We're doing it.
Since we've got a little time, just a couple minutes left before we go to our extended podcast. I put a song on last week. Juan was a little
I can't hear you.
You're a little down on me, right? You're a little mad, a little upset. Feathers were ruffled.
Yeah, because you're on your high horse.
And this is the guy who says he never gets mad, and me of all people, was able to get under his skin. I love it. Like, I think I could be that heel and be a good troll. But I had a song, and I want to play it for our fans. This was for you. I was going to play it last week, but it didn't load, and we didn't really have a chance. So this is for Juan.
Give me time.
You can sing it, Juan.
I don't know if I know this.
You'll know it. I'm going to talk over till the good part starts. Remember, you can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/BluegrassMMA. If you've been following along on Twitter, Juan's been tweeting all night at BluegrassMMA. Aaron Garrett's been joining us for the third hour. It's going to be good. Juan, do you know the song yet?
Is it the one in Wedding Singer? Or Wedding... Is it Wedding Singer? What the hell's the Adam Sandler movie? Was it Wedding Singer? Yeah. Do you really wanna hurt me? Do you really wanna make me cry? Is that the words? I don't know the words.
Breaking news. This just in. Juan Valley is Boy George. There, you heard it here first.
I'm rich beyond my belief.
Yeah, I bet he is. If you've not,
is he even still alive?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I know that music's from like the 80s.
Yeah, I was an 80s kid. You were more of like a late 80s, early 90s kid, right?
Well, depends on how you define kid. Are we talking like 6, 7-year-old? Are we talking a 12, 13-year-old? You need to be more definitive on that.
Like if you're 13, that's a teenager. So we'll say 12
Still
and under.
Kid. Okay, 12 and under? Yeah, early 90s, mid 90s, I guess. Yeah, mid 90s-ish.
This weekend we will be at North Plainfield at the Hard Rock Rocksino for the first ever MMA event in a casino in Ohio. I'm excited about that. I'm excited. I'm not going to Indianapolis. Juan's going to Indianapolis, but he's going to go there on the 26th with Aaron Garrett. They're going to be BFFs for the night. We're going to put up the card for Gladiators of the Cage. We'll break down some of the fights later on this week at the home for all things Ohio Valley MMA and beyond. That's BluegrassMMA.com. Remember, you can listen to this podcast on Stitcher, iTunes, Live Sportscaster, They've all got apps. Go out there and get them. Remember the link, audibletrial.com/pro MMA now. All the proceeds will go to my gambling Saturday night. And with that being said, I think it's just about that time, Juanita.
That time. Knights of the Cage. KOTC.
See ya.
You've been listening to the Ohio Valley's #1 source for MMA, broadcasting on the ProMMANow.com radio network. Brought to you by Bangtown Fightwear. Bluegrass MMA Live. Join your host, Juan Valley and Gary Thomas again for Bluegrass MMA Live. And remember, fighters first, fans always.